Hey everyone, and welcome back here to Flexline Productions as we bring you the back nine of our opening round at the first annual West Mobile County Park Open. Once again, I am Dustin Mouret bringing you the commentary, and once again, I'm joined by none other than Chase Bowen.
We are back, baby. And the back nine of this course has a little bit more teeth than the front nine, so let's see what's got in store for us.
And of course, Chase, one of the players on the card, joining me for the commentary. We got 4 other locals here from the Mobile area participating in this event. As again, it's a brand new course, and we are seeing our first tournament action on it here as we now get to hole number 10. Pretty stock shot. I mean, you can go forehand left to avoid a backhand potentially hyzering out in that area over there, but the backhand also brings the OB, I feel like, more into play. You kind of have to cross it more, but it's really just a dealer's choice.
Yeah, I agree with you there for sure. Just straight holes 250, you basically got 220-ish of straight OB carry, so definitely a little bit of a scary look when you get up to this tee box, but pretty straightforward for the most part.
Yes, that's a little bit overturned from Mac, but definitely pushes forward enough to avoid the OB. Just means a lengthy putt for birdie. I also like the forehand this hole because the tee pad is a little short, and I just felt like a little bit more comfortable throwing a forehand. But again, I think anything can work here.
For sure. Yeah, and you can see all these low-hanging limbs right here off the tee box too. Probably why Rob's going with a standstill to get as close up to the tee pad so he can just try to stay under him. Which he's a great standstill thrower, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Sponsored by MVP nowadays. I think that was probably a Nomad or maybe a Proxy or something. Likes to throw those. And we see you now taking the tee.
Yeah, with my trusty Star Invader again. Had a little bit of wind rolling through here, so I was going back and forth between my straight to slightly more overstable putter. Let's squeeze up there just past Rob and that little left side over there.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not too deep in there, you do still have a putt. I mean, I have to straddle out or something like that, but definitely inside the circle. This is definitely one of those holes you want to get on the back nine for sure because some of the others are a little bit more difficult.
No doubt. As Mr. Justin here throws a textbook shot, showing you how it's done.
And pretty much parks it. Should have a pretty easy time for birdie. As if you haven't seen the front nine yet, do go check that out. But we got Jerimie Gates here, who's 5 down through 9. Clean card so far, yet to get a bogey. Been on a roll.
Yep, Gates is definitely a player. He's been playing for a long time. So whenever he gets out and he starts getting warm, especially on a shorter course like this, because he's a great putter and putter player, mid-range player, and forehand finesse player. So that works well in shorter wooded courses for sure.
Also a local TD with a group called the Prime Suspects. They throw some cool tournaments as well. As we are going to see Mac a little short on the putting green for his birdie.
Yeah, I'm actually part of the Prime Suspects as well, Dustin.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you knew that. And I'm got my hands in everything down here in the mobile disc.
You really do. Your hand in every pot, just in case
Yeah.
one of them, goes off. You'll go with them to the moon.
Exactly.
Playing it smart.
Yeah. It's a good advantage to be in this though, because I'm able to also run a sign shop as my daily job, so I get to help with the T signs you see out here, the Mando signs, all that kind of stuff. So it's cool to be able to be working every day, but also get to play disc golf and work in disc golf in the local community. As I had a nice little straddle out there, I was pretty happy I made that one because, like I said previously, on the front nine, straddles are not my thing.
Yeah. Tying out Jerimie for the lead now with Mac kind of right on your heels at 4 under. Of course, Wreck Rob not too far behind himself at 3. We're seeing everyone just kind of clean up here at the end.
Yep. Mr. Andrew looking a little disappointed he left that putt short, but easy par. Move on to this next hole.
Yeah, hole 11 is a tricky one.
This is a very tough hole.
Yeah, this isn't the short pin position our first round, so I didn't have to push it as far, but definitely still need to get in this tunnel and avoid the OB that's on the right-hand side. There is like an OB ditch. To be fair, it's pretty generous amount of space up there before you get to it, but definitely something you still have to consider. I was actually throwing forehand off the tee on this one, like a flex forehand off to the left corner and then kind of having it come dead center. But that brings the OB into play, whereas the flex backhand that you're seeing thrown here really is safer.
Yep, agreed. I actually did throw forehand second round because it was in the long pin, but this one I felt like was more attackable with a backhand, and I just held on to that one again. And I was asking the card mates if there was OB over there because I was unaware. So I really actually didn't know until I got up there if I was safe or not.
We are seeing the forehand here from Justin. Definitely a viable play. Kind of keeps you out of the rough on the left-hand side. If you don't do that, that was a little overturned.
Yep, he did. He knew it right out of his hand, too, as he turned his back to it, and he was pretty disappointed with that.
Jerimie going to go for the forehand as well. Not surprising. Like you said, definitely a guy who has some pretty good finesse with these like touchier forehand shots. And he can keep you out that left side rough as long as you get the angle right. And yeah, that looks great.
Yep. Wow, Lim just kicked him down kind of late. Kept him from pushing up that hill to get a lock push because he put a good line on that one.
And this is going to be Matt going at it with an understable putter. Just trying to keep it straight with maybe a little bit of turn.
Definitely one of probably his strong suits for sure is a nice, easy backhand putter turnover shot.
Indeed, that looks buttery out of his hand.
Another tree kick, man. That basket is so guarded up there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does sit up the hill on the left-hand side with some guardian trees right there in front of it. So definitely one that can get tricky, especially if you have a backhand fade out into this left rough.
No. As Justin there got pretty lucky, in my opinion, as he hits high from the limb, drops down on a downward slope, and his disc just hits flat, and luckily it doesn't roll away.
Ooh, a little bit of a jumper from Gates and almost finds it.
Yeah, that was a great run from Jerimie.
Here
and
you
actually,
are.
yeah, I was okay with the have an actual birdie look at this from that errant tee shot, to say the least.
And this is like the one advantage you do get from being on this right-hand side of the fairways. You do usually have more of an open look at the basket for the actual putt.
Yeah.
So if we're willing to risk that right-hand side OB, I think there's something to be gained for being over there.
Agreed.
Might be a tricky one here for Rec Rob. I have to punch it through some trees. A little low, though.
I was standing up there by him before he made that, or before he ran that putt, and that window he had to go through was very, very tiny.
Great one, though, from Mac.
Yep. Mac knocking down the two, especially that unfortunate cage hit on the last hole.
Yeah, that's going to tie y'all up, yeah.
Yep, three-way tie.
This is one of those courses where like almost every hole feels birdieable, and so, you know there's always going to be a chance to get a score, even if you fall a couple behind. And Mac able to even things out in the end here as we head into hole number 12. The rest of the card just kind of cleaning up some pars. This is another, again, very touchy one, which is kind of a theme at this course. Downhill, short, but again, just very narrow fairway.
Yep.
And I will say the right-hand side is way more forgiving on this hole.
Which is the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Unless you're early right like Mac, that is not very forgiving.
Yeah.
That right-hand side that he played down to is, he funneled almost all the way down. It opens up a little bit more after that first little tree you see on your right. It kind of opens up down there. Left is definitely trouble all the way down, no matter which way you slice it.
If you're left, you're pitching to the fairway.
Yep.
I mean, there's just really no salvaging it. The only thing you really can do if you go right is like if you go deep or something. But this looks like a great shot from you. Even gets like a nice little skip.
Yep, and then I believe it hit a late tree at the end. I thought it was going to anti-skip pretty good, and it kind of started hyzing out. I think it caught a late tree.
Yeah. Definitely feel like I was seeing most people throw the forehand, but definitely can backhand this hole. But it's just, again, if you get the nose angle wrong or fizzle out left, you're in trouble. And even Justin might be in some trouble there.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of people definitely go to the forehand here. They can control that kind of nose down angle a little bit more.
Or you can be this guy doing this thing.
Yep. Mr. Tomahawk.
If you got it.
JT Gibbons, you need to pick Mr. Jerimie up. He's throwing a tomahawk here. Tomahawk dies.
That was really well done. Lots of progress made on the fairway there from Jerimie Gates.
He was super happy with that shot.
I bet he was ecstatic. Did look happy, was smiling, so
Oh, yeah.
surely satisfied.
He told me after he threw it, and he said, this is either going to be really good or this is going to be really bad. So it's 50-50 shot for him there.
Mm-hmm. He liked those odds. So we are going to see that lefty scramble shot. We were kind of talking about in the front line that Mac's capable of, but he's probably a little bit disappointed with how that one faded out. But, I mean, honestly, where he was, he probably didn't have many other options.
He really didn't.
And here's Justin, filming an Animal Planet documentary as we speak.
Yep. He is in the jungle, baby.
Justin Grills. Just trying to find some hope, some signs of life.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. I mean, honestly, considering I know that left-hand side, that's
Yeah.
actually not bad.
He actually hit a tree, and as you've seen on your far screen, he hit a tree, stood up, and rolled out in that field, probably 35-ish away, give or take.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
As this is Gates for a par save.
See if you can give it a good run here. Oh, just a little low.
Here's Mac trying to get his par after getting caught up off the tee. Straddling out. Gives it a good run, just a little high.
Yeah. This is where Justin's shot ended up. Like I said, for where he was to where he is now, is definitely progress. As he
Wow.
bangs down the putt, got to give him some props for that one. I was having a little pep talk with him before I was, and he was a little nervous about the putt. So I was just telling him, I was like, man, you got this. Just knock it down, and he does.
I'll tell you this: you are very rarely going to see a par save from that left-hand side of the fairway as early as he got caught up. That was so well done.
Agreed.
So shout out to him. That's going to put him 1 under on the round. So starting to claw his way back after some tougher moments on the front nines. You're going to see you looking to try to get a birdie here to take the lead back.
Actually got very fortunate. I thought from the tee I kicked on that left side and I was not going to have a look. But to go down there to my surprise to have that, I was very happy with that.
So I'll give you the lead here on the card. We're going to see Rob go for his birdie as well here, looking to just keep a couple strokes back, keep the gap close. And that'll do.
Good putt there from Rob. Mac here will clean up his 3. Excuse me. This will be for his bogey, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He was super early off the tee on the right.
Yeah, still very tight scoring though here, like really only a stroke of separation between most players as we see Jerimie Gates dropping in his there, and I'll knock him down a peg also. So it gives you 2 strokes of cushion as we head into hole 13. A very short but dangerously uphill shot because there's an OB fence if you go too high.
Yep, and this is completely blind from the basket. You are literally throwing something to that gap and hoping it doesn't go to the fence, and you will wound up by the basket.
Yeah, it's a scary one for sure. You gotta have the perfect height to get up the hill, but not too high to go OB over the fence.
I just completely let go early. Just not very happy with that. Well, we'll see. I have to manage with when I get up there.
Yeah, and you pretty much have to at least get to the opening at the top of the hill. If you don't, I mean, you're wasting a stroke just getting back in the position.
Agreed. As Justin here throws the turnover putter for him.
Yep, I like that play a lot. Keep your eye on the gap the whole time. Make sure that you maybe have better height control. Definitely a good play.
Yeah, my wife, who's actually competing in the FA1 division this tournament today, threw that shot in her practice round and absolutely parked it on the pole.
I did that shot, but did not park. Oh, Matt catching chains!
Wow.
Oh my goodness! Could y'all hear the chains from the tee?
We did not. We found out when we got up there and Chandler told us.
Oh, wow.
That it had hit chains. We knew it was going to be good. We didn't know it was going to be that close.
Yeah, that was nuts. As we were talking about it in the front now, we've had quite a few aces on hole 7. And, yeah.
Yep, ace. I'm trying to think what other hole has been aced quite a few times.
17's been aced once, and I still don't know how. And we'll talk about it once we get there, and I'll give a shout out because a good buddy of mine got it.
You'll see what we mean.
Yeah, a good buddy of mine got it, so it's pretty cool. You know what? You actually could scramble for par from here.
Yeah, I am stretched to my limits on this, but I'm able to manage. Nice little turnover putter up there, and I think I got myself in position to nice little tap in par. So.
And here's Dustin for his deuce, but a
Oh,
little high.
he
Oh, that
did it.
roll! No way.
And he had no idea that was happening until he turned around the last second. We were telling him that we were telling it to sit, and he was like, "Huh?" And he turned around, and it was rolling all the way back to him.
At least he gets that one.
And yeah, he does can that one. Which that's a feeling that you really kind of hate, but you like. It's like you just missed it from here, and then you make it from here. So what? Why?
It's the classic player B situation, but
It
with a
really
slightly
is.
different lie.
True, very true.
As Mac has a chance here for birdie after nearly acing this hole. And he will find it. It would be an unjust world if he didn't get a 2 after nearly catching the 1.
Very true. A great run from him. As you can see, some little kids over here playing on the fence. And then the softball, big old softball tournament they got going out there today. Bunch of people out there today.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, everybody definitely watching us is what we're doing on these few holes that run up to these parks.
Right.
Wondering what we're doing.
Yeah, this park used to be referred to as Softball City, if that tells you anything.
Yep.
But now we got a little bit of disc golf in town on this course. We're going to see Rob take the box here on hole 14.
I believe that is his Nomad again. He does a great shot here on a very tight fairway. Low ceiling, tight. Pretty much got to throw the perfect shot here. Just something low, straight for 200 feet, and you're there.
Man, like mini holes at Westmoreland County Park, just requires absolute finesse. And if you hit a tree, just hope that you were praying to the right deity to get you into a better spot.
Very true. Scramble your 3 and move on.
Ooh, that kick right's going to make that tough. Right's definitely jail in comparison.
Yeah, it's very, very thick in the right for sure. And I have struggled with this whole practice rounds, warm-ups. And I normally throw my trusty Star Invader there, but I decided to go with my soft tactic. And
Well, let's see what happens, Chase. Well,
does not work out in my favor.
well, you did throw the disc and you did make forward progress, and technically that is a fairway hit. So
that is true.
we're trying to be optimistic here.
Thanks for the stats, Dustin.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the positivity, buddy.
It really just depends on what disc person you have, if that's a fairway hit or not. But that seemed pretty fairway to me. As that's a great shot from Justin. That's tracking. Ooh, pushes a little deep actually.
Yeah, we thought that was gonna have a chance for a minute for sure until just kept going straight. I think he's throwing a Luna there, if I'm not mistaken, which has an extreme amount of glide for a putter.
Yeah, he also putts with those, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he does.
That's a great run from Jerimie.
Yeah. With that trusty PA4 of his that he's probably had for at least 5 years.
I could not imagine owning a disc for that long. I just lose them all the time, as everyone's very aware of in Mobile. Sorry, that's a bit of an in, but everyone from the Mobile area will enjoy that. I'm sure I'll get tagged about it on Facebook, as I do every day.
Just go join the Mobile Alabama Disc Golf page, and you'll see what we're talking about. There's at least a post daily about Mr. Dustin Mouret.
I mean, the good news is like no one's ever keeping my disc because the opportunity to meme me is just so high that you can't give that up to keep the disc. You know what I mean? So I'm always getting my stuff back. So I try to look at the positivity.
That is very true. That's very true.
Yeah. As we're all Mobilians here, pretty much, that you see on film and doing the commentary and playing in the tournament. As that's a great putt from Mac.
Yeah, you can definitely see a bunch of us locals back there in the background chatting it up. Definitely a lot of people that everyone knows everybody pretty much at this tournament here. Put on here by your Southside guys, been around in the community for a while.
Yep.
Rob here got his 2 look.
And that's a great putt. I'll keep him tied up with you.
Yeah, he kind of snuck back up on me there a little bit after the hole 9.
Mm-hmm.
Got in the hole 10. He started kind of sneaking back up to me a little bit with a couple birdies.
Yeah, Mac not too far off either, and Jerimie's about to be right there 1 stroke behind you as well, as he's about to tap in a birdie here after a brilliant tee shot. I really have just given Gates too many compliments already on this broadcast, but I got to give it to him when he deserves it. He's thrown some great shots today.
Oh, Gates is a stud, man.
He is.
Probably one of the very few people in Mobile that got to Cottage Hill with probably the putters he's putting with and play the whole course with him and shoot 8 down.
Mm-hmm. And this is a very tricky hole. The basket's uphill right, and this is definitely the right line to throw, but you just got to make sure you push forward enough.
Yeah, I think he gets caught in that little, there's like some guardian cabbage here. Just short, like you said. You got he hit the line perfect. You got it a little more height, and he's probably parked under the basket.
You also got to be scared about shooting too hard left if you get a kick, because there is an OB line left that you can kind of see the start of here right off the tee pad, and it runs all the way down the fairway. So, again, just like almost every hole we've been discussing, you got to keep it straight and right height and right angle. Otherwise, you could be in some real trouble. And that looks really overturned. That's threatening. Oh, that's a great tree kick, actually.
Yeah, he was not happy with that out of his hand, and then it hit the tree, and he at least took a little sigh of relief that he wasn't having to take an OB stroke there.
And Matt's getting aggressive on this. This is an onyx in his hand, so he's definitely looking to get all the way there on like some type of flip-up forehand.
Yeah, I was watching him throw this onyx in practice round, and he was actually throwing it really good, so we'll see what he can do here.
Well, actually,
Sorry.
that ground play was not too shabby.
Yeah,
And he got a good roll, actually, too.
It was very beneficial for sure. Sorry, Mac, to kind of talk you up there and couldn't execute.
Yeah.
Love you, buddy.
So we're going to see you going for the forehand as well.
Yeah, we got my trusty 2020 Sexton Firebird in the hand, and unfortunately just comes out a little early. My forehands were just not feeling good this first round at all. They could not come out of my hand correct.
This looks like a little Captain Raptor based on the stamp there. As again, a lot of discraft and dismania here for Justin. That is pristine.
Yep.
And a great roll.
That'll do for sure. And I believe we're going to get a sneak preview here. Are you over here on the left? Oh, no, we walked forward. You were on the hole just parallel to us, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, I was playing this event in the AM side of things. And actually did pretty well this first round.
What'd you end up shooting?
I was 6 under on the round, so I think I was actually tied for like second for the whole tournament or something like that after the first round.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you definitely were.
It was 974 rated, which is the highest I've ever shot. So it was pretty crazy.
That's a good round. Yeah, we were actually standing on hole 2 first round. Me and Jerimie were talking about the scoring and what it would probably need to be a decent rated round. And he said at least 10 down would probably need to get, a mid to higher 900 rated. And after this tournament got played and some of the scores we had out here, to see the ratings we were pretty impressed, honestly.
As someone who benefited greatly from that, I will admit they were really inflated. I was shocked to see. I thought maybe I'd shoot like a little over 900 at 6 under, but to see it that high was definitely kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But with it being a course that had never been played in tournaments before, and considering the ratings of the players that were at the event and stuff, it was going to be tough to get like a good accurate read as we are. Seeing our card here, clean up on hole 15.
Max clean up for his par here. And yeah, another thing about this course too, and the ratings and everything, if you take the OB out, and this whole tournament changes completely.
Oh, absolutely.
But with this OB running tight down these fairways, it really is a massive game changer.
I'd also say too, like in the short pin positions, there's just not that much score separation between divisions on this course. I mean, most holes play under 300 feet. As long as you're technical and you're accurate, you can score pretty well. As we get to a pretty tricky little downhill dogleg right hole here, and there's also OB deep if you go too straight.
Yep. Actually, this is probably one of my favorite holes out here. It's a really cool view up there from the top of that hill looking down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
but very intimidating seeing that OB line dead straight out in front of you, only about 30-ish, 40 feet away from the basket to the left.
Yeah, so you either kind of place something in the air and just try to gently glide down, or you can try to play some type of lower skip shot, as that's going to kick OB. Huge fan of that, Jerimie Gates. Gives you the thumbs up and everything. Big fan.
Absolutely love playing with that man. He this does not matter how bad he's playing. He will keep the card alive.
It's always great to have someone like that to kind of keep the moods up. So we're going to see Mac here also going with the little cat wrap.
With yet another forehand.
This is probably the most forehands this man's ever thrown in a round.
It's got to be. I've played with him quite a few times, and he has not thrown that many.
Yeah, of course, he helps run the University of South Alabama Disc Golf Club. They actually had a couple of their players go All-American this past year, including Mac himself. He was second-team All-American.
Yep. And
Sick.
That was a great shot. Just early out of the hand. Like I just said on the previous hole, forehand was not feeling comfortable today. So, very unfortunate.
Isn't like a rule like if you hit 3 trees it doesn't count or something like that?
Yeah, I'm past that rule, Dustin.
Okay, yeah.
I've hit too many.
This is sanctioned.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that.
I've hit too many.
Speaking of which, that was a fantastic
It was.
forehand there off the tee from Justin.
Great shot. I'm left deep back. Didn't commit. Another low tree. Just struggling on this hole hard.
It's definitely one of the ones that it can get you, for sure. It's like this one, 17, which we're going to see next, and a couple of the early holes, there's a couple of tight ones with OB right that you have to worry about. I think it's like 6 and 7. So there's a couple out there that can get you snared up.
All right.
We're going to see Mac pitch up for par.
me for my 3 save. And I thought I rang this up and just stayed a little high. And fortunately, went a little bit further than the comebacker I would have wanted.
This is Jerimie to try to save his par from the OB. Just a little low out the hand. Have to settle for a 4.
That was a good run.
I want to see a swing on this hole for strokes.
Yes, indeed.
As Rob has a chance here for his birdie. And, just a little left.
Thought he canned it.
Very close indeed, as this is you trying to get something going on this hole.
And just freaking caged it. That is my miss, unfortunately, with my so-called elevator putt. If I don't commit to the height, my putter's just not going to make it.
As Rob will tap in the par there. Put himself in the solo lead now as you drop a couple of strokes after a tough hole. Mac will kind of stay where he's at. Jerimie's going to lose a stroke as well, kind of tie up with you there in 3rd position, at least for this card.
Yep. Which I think it was pretty tight at this point. I didn't check scores much on the live scoring app, but I think it was pretty tight between the other card that we were competing against. So I definitely knew I had to do something because I just knew that what I just did on that hole was not going to cut it. As Justin here throws a great shot on the very difficult hole 17.
Yeah, excuse my shock, but this hole is really tough. Like this forehand line you're seeing out left is probably the safest way. You can also play like a floaty backhand hyzer, but it's so uphill and it's just so congested as far as like the amount of stuff you have to get around. This is a tough hole.
You see Mac here breaking out a lefty tomahawk tomahawk, lefty tomahawk.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this in the front nine. Like he, throws right-handed, but I think he was left-handed, kind of ambidextrous baseball player. So definitely can break out some crazy lefty stuff when he needs to scramble or do like little trick shots like that.
For sure.
As we are going to see Jerimie playing that backhand option. Again, if you have like something that is floaty enough on enough angle, you can, just get a backhand up there.
Which, I was about to say, I thought for a minute here when I was watching Jerimie line up, I thought he was going high, but he actually was trying to play a low flare skip.
Okay.
Which is a good play, honestly, if you hit the line, because it'll check up into the hill nice. But
yeah, definitely gives you a chance to get par. It's just so hard to birdie this hole. This is a great forehand from you, it looks like.
And I put it
wow.
Great. Soft tactic again, just a little ante out of the hand, flew straight, and you can see the gap just straight up the gut. If you get through there, you're going to be on the hill.
Yeah. Also, shout out to one of our locals. Cotty actually aced this hole.
Yes, he did.
With a crazy flex forehand of the hyzer guys. So shout out to him. A little local love as we're seeing our players just kind of pitch up there for their pars for the most part. But we got a couple of birdie looks. Yourself and Justin got up there.
Yeah, Justin definitely threw, I would say, the better line than I did. I kind of got a little lucky. Went a little inside. He threw the more pure of the 2 lines that we went through that gap. As he taps in his birdie there.
Yeah, you're not going to see too many people getting tap-in birdies on this hole, so you and Justin did really well to get it. And that'll really help you get, one back, as most of the field's par in this. So
that definitely felt good after that unfortunate double bogey on the last hole. Losing a couple strokes to everybody. Got one back there. It felt good for sure.
That keeps you right there in the hunt. Only a stroke of separation for most of the players here. Even Justin's not too far back. Starting to get a little bit of recovery here on this back nine, especially with this hole. You see everyone else just kind of cleaning up some threes.
And Rob here will be the last one to do so.
Now we get to hole 18, the longest hole on the course. Baskets underneath this tree to the right in the short pin position. There are Mandos that stop you from throwing over the fence. It's very hard to get here because it is uphill and it was windy.
And that is not the basket you see there straight ahead to off the tee pad. It's actually tucked to the right under that big oak tree to the right.
Yeah, the fence is kind of blocking your view of the basket here.
And this came out very early. It's going to stall out. Great shot for the practice basket.
Oh, absolutely. You nailed that.
Put it up there about 40 feet. Did that in the practice round, actually throwing to that basket, not knowing that it wasn't the right basket. And put a great shot there as well.
Yeah, you would not be the first person to get that confused.
And I think Rob was actually joking with me right there. He said, "We're going to that basket, right?"
Yeah, mostly going to see backhand turnovers. You can see forehand plays. I feel like the roller is like the most accessible way to the basket to actually try to get the birdie because it's the uphill climb and with it being a low ceiling.
Agreed.
And we are going to see that backhand roller attempt here from Rob.
The backhand roller was, I wanted to lay that down so bad, but there was swirling winds out there, so I didn't really know what the wind was going to do. Plus that when you get around that bend to the right, the hill starts to slope pretty far up.
Yep.
So if you cut too early, you're just going to funnel that hill all the way down to that fence.
Yeah.
And have a very long upshot up the hill.
Yeah. So pretty much backhand turnover is like the main play. Again, forehand definitely works.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you have a 350, 400-foot forehand for this hole, by all means.
Yeah, I think forehand you're kind of conceding for the par for sure. Backhand turnover at least gives you a chance if you can get the perfect height and push.
Which Mac threw a great turnover there. He put himself up there, I think, just outside circle 1, I believe.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, it was a great shot.
And not too many people are birdieing this hole. Definitely accessible for pro players, but definitely one of the harder holes to get just distance-wise and do the thing. And, flirting with the Mando.
Flirty.
Is that flirting with the OB fence, too?
No, he had enough power on the push forward to where he actually stayed clean, so. But he will have that long uphill up shot that we were just talking about when you funnel down to that fence.
Hey, I mean, you got past the pin distance-wise.
Yeah, I was fine with the shot, just not the line.
Yeah, just a little forehand pitch up to put you next to the pin to get your par and get out of here on this round.
Yep. Yeah, this definitely wasn't a hole I was expecting to get. I didn't get it in practice round a couple times, so I tried it.
Oh!
Yeah, Justin with a great run there.
Didn't expect to see a run from that far away, but almost got it, and definitely will be getting his 3, it looks like, as Rob floats one up there, almost nails it.
Almost nails that one, too. Another great putt.
This is where Gates landed after the forehand off the tee. Had a very lengthy jump putt up the hill, but nestles up there nicely for a par. And this is Mac, and I mean, this is a great look at birdie on a very difficult hole. Can he sink it? No, absolutely not. That's low.
He was very disappointed in himself, which I would have been too, rightfully so, with a shot that good on that hole.
Yeah.
To have that good of a look at it, definitely hoping he connected on that one.
Looks like we're going to see our card just kind of finishing up here, tapping in some 3s.
Yeah. Shout out to Chandler Haybear over here on the right. There's your cameraman. The boy was moving out there, making sure he could get the best angles possible for the catch cam.
Indeed. And of course, Flexline Productions kind of starting out. It's great to see them doing some coverage here around the Mobile area. Again, it was really fun bringing the coverage. Myself, Dustin Mouret here, hosting things with Chase Bowen. So take a look at our final scorecard to see how things shook down. We are seeing that Robert Hastings does take that lead on this card at 6 under, but yourself and Mac just 1 stroke behind, and Jerimie Gates just 2 behind. So a very tight field, as we finish off our opening round here.
Good commentating with you, Dustin. First time doing it.
And here we go.
It's pretty neat.
Yep, and we're looking at the overall leaderboard. We see Robert Hastings will stay on the lead card, tied for second with Oliver Richardson. Bruce Buzzard taking the lead spot. Yourself will be tied with 4th with Mac, and then we got Donnie Butler down there as well in that tie for 4th. And I technically would have been tied for second from my division, but yeah, that's going to do it. We'll catch you on the round 2.
Come up to the MPO division.
Absolutely not.
See y'all later.